Big Bang Busta Rhymes live and direct. Already know what it is. Doing it real big with my man DJ Franchise. You got the mixtape thing popping. I know you in the streets heavy. Stick with us. We gonna keep it going real crazy. Me and my boy DJ Franchise. New York, we do it real big. Y'all already know what it is.
Live the life of a Dan live. Growing up in Tola is where the dance live. One thing the dance win. So when the critics start, ain't one thing the dance did. The dance give. Thank you Heavenly Father for letting me dance in. From the ghetto to the black, Shagga Dog and back, Dutch Master rap, that's a fact. Frankie Fat Bag, Squalor in the back of the pack, Dutch Master roll exact. Who this boy be? Oh, it's paper, then next thing, H2 is the blessing. Call me for a session, so we can learn a lesson from another dimension. You hate to the sky, hate till you fly, take your head out them clouds, sky you hate.
I've been patiently waiting to blow. Ladies and gentlemen, No Conduct Radio. Or was it TVNC17 Radio? Yeah, you could tell I've been sipping on some stuff. Anyways, it's your boy, the internationally known Debonair Extraordinaire, soon to be world famous, your local superhero, the rated R superstar, Sir Franchise Drake, not to be confused with the Canadian Batty Boy Aubrey. Co-host, as always, the one, the only.
It's your boy, Slick Black, Slick Flair, a.k.a. The Voice.
Yeah, because he changes names like every episode, I swear to God. But
that's how I do it.
Yeah, but I mean, we tackle the topics that nobody really wants to tackle, that everybody is scared of. You know what I mean? You know how to hit us up. Hit my email up, djfranchisenc17 at gmail.com. That's where you submit all your questions and topics and all that good stuff. Give feedback, all that good stuff. But we're gonna tackle a serious topic tonight. I'm gonna let my boy Slick, you know what I mean, bring it through, because as a father of three, it's a very sensitive topic. So I have no kids of my own, well, at least none that I know of. So until that day comes, you got to let the professionals do their pro work. So Slick, it's all you, my nigga.
You know, as the Pope made his speech today, it was today?
I think it was today, yeah.
Yeah, Washington, D.C.
I saw like a fake meme post where he was like looking at some chicks like breastises. That was so funny.
It made me think automatically on the many atrocities committed by the Roman Catholic Church, their priests, when it came to the exploitation, molestation of young boys around the world.
I think back in those times the term was used, pederast.
And it seems that nowhere in the world you could go and feel safe with your kids.
Ain't that a shame?
Okay, it happens all over the United States, all over Europe, Asia, even in our own backyard in the Caribbean.
Heard it's big in Asia though.
We as a species have to do better. We as men have to do better. In societies all over the world, even in our own backyard, when you see something that doesn't look right, that's when you're supposed to pong Millie. Not huddle in a little corner and talk to yourself. Investigate, be nosy. You know, there's an element in all our societies. They come in many forms.
Preach.
Okay, many ranks. And they're sinister.
Man, I tell you.
They are devious individuals. You dirty, dirty.
I gotta have more cowbell.
There's gonna be a day. There will be a day.
Day of reckoning.
A day of reckoning.
Is this coming from the good book? That's coming from the good book?
Where all over the world, it's happened before. Parents gonna rise Okay? It's going to be no judgment. It's going to be old school.
That's an Old Testament.
We destroying people. We destroying kids. We need to do better. We need to do better as a society all over the world, all over the United States, all over the Caribbean. We have to do better. Protect them kids
Children of the future.
with everything you have. You know, I could use myself. When I think about my kids, and sometimes I read the news in the world, and for a split second I picture my kids in that scenario.
Damn.
And the feeling that overwhelms me, I already know what I will do. Okay? The question is what you gonna do, society.
These are your babies.
I pray every day for my kids. Safety. Because only God and I, whether you believe in one or not,
I don't.
knows exactly what the Flair gonna do. Ain't no grandstanding. This kids we talking about.
The picnics.
Ain't nothing off the table. Ain't nothing off the table. We have to do better, society. We have to do better. Okay? And ladies, you have women out there taking advantage of these young girls in the world.
Yep, I could
Stop
tell you a
it.
few stories.
Stop it. There's going to come a day of reckoning. Best believe that. And on that note, I have nothing else to say on this subject. You dirty.
Yep. Now that you got your little rant monologue out the way, I have some questions because, like, as your topic stated, like, we have to do better as a society. Now my question is this: like, where do we actually start? The rehabilitation, the healing, the overlaps of corruption. Like, where do we start putting the Band-Aid? Where do we start healing the wounds as a society?
Listen. The human mind is a complex thing. Personalities, whether you believe in spirits, whether you believe in celestial beings, a higher
Demons.
power, whatever the case may be, when it comes to mankind, it seems like nothing off of the table for us. You know,
in this modern day we live in, 2015.
I mean,
yeah.
when you think about it, the confusion, the destruction, mentally and physically, for a child.
Because we are
in the
talking about
aftermath.
fragile minds,
Okay.
still developing.
There's two ways that can go. You either gonna create a monster, or completely change the mind frame of a human being.
Yeah.
And most likely, most times, for the bad. There are some people that overcome. And to those, my heart go out to them. But there's no way to start. I mean, all you could do is, I don't know, pay attention to your kids, B. You can't trust too much, or go walk to the corner store, or you know what, I can just drop you off. I've been knowing Tanty Merle for 5 years, so yeah, sometimes you don't know who coming by Tanty Merle house. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
Sometimes even your own family members. So all I could say is you have to watch them yourself. Listen, if the kids ain't have a day off, listen, if you're to work, you to save your money, You know you ain't got nobody to use a sick day. Stay home with your kids, see? Only you could protect your kids. That's real talk.
I mean, when you was giving your monologue earlier, you was talking about vigilance, and that reminded me of something that I came across in New York many of times. They always say, you see posted up in the subways, you see billboards everywhere, if you see something, say something. Now, for the people tuning in who might not be too sure what we're talking about, we're talking about deviant deeds, you know what I mean, done to minors, whether it be pedophilia, whether it be pederast, whether it be, you know, whatever you want to label it, whatever you want to call it. And in situations like where we are right now, currently in the BVI, do you think that us as a society are a victim of the lapse factor, where we think nothing can go wrong, everything is cool, like we still live in an era where you can leave your cars unlocked, your doors unlocked? Has that gone too far to the point where these deviant beings are taking advantages of the closed eye mentality?
Well, that happens worldwide. A lot of times in small towns, you know, and I'm being broad, trust me. You know, it always happens it seems to happen a lot in these little small towns,
where everybody is still with that, you know, one eye closed mentality.
Exactly.
Everything is fine, chipper.
Sometimes it could happen right under your nose.
Majority of the times it does.
And unless the child is willing to speak up, or you see something with your own eyes, it's hard to tell what's going on. And that's why I talk with my kids. I always have conversations when I pick them up, and when we go out and have fun. I always dedicate about at least an hour of sitting down with my 8-year-old, my 4-year-old, who can talk. Oh yeah, she talks. And I talk to them, I ask them questions. They know right from wrong, what you're not supposed to do, danger spots, they know everything. And it's like, I remember a while back, their mother told me, like, look, it's like, I probably will be the last person you're going to want to contact if something was to happen to my kids' cuts. She know exactly what you're going to do.
Because these are the babies.
And it's a real touchy subject, to tell you the truth.
But I'm glad you brought that up when you said a touchy subject, because while we was focusing on this matter for this show, I had to, you know, do a lot of research, as I always do, for preparation and stuff like that. And I feel a lot of these things happen because lack of education, and because people feel that they're trying to measure out the right time to talk to their children. As a father of, you know, 2 growing girls, what do you think is an appropriate age to talk about inappropriate touching and, you know, stuff like that? What,
from the time that it makes sense.
From the time it makes sense. But do you think that's going on in the community at hand, though?
I don't know about other people in the community, you know.
But I'm talking about in the fact of, like, you know, is this something that they should start implementing in schools, you know, or should the responsibility fall playing on the parent?
That responsibility starts home. Your daughter, your child, whatever the case may be, if they born with all their faculties, trust me, by the time they're 4 or 5 years old, okay, they could comprehend. You could sit them on and say, nobody's supposed to touch you there, and and whatever, and if they could start to comprehend that, you know. I think it was around those age, you know, by the time they go into preschool and stuff, you know, is whatever, you just, you know, let them know, like, yeah, they know when you're bathing them, you explain their spots to them and what's not supposed to happen, and whatever the case may be. And like children, they're a sponge, they're going to soak and remember everything. So if something happens out of the blue, until most children with all their faculties spontaneous, so they can keep a secret. So if somebody touch them and try to say, don't say nothing, it'll come out of the blue. They'll just say it. You know, that's the thing about kids. They'll just say it. So, you know, and I always explain to them, like, you know, never be scared to tell your father anything. You could come to me with anything. Anybody do you anything you feel uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, okay, but as I said, you are like one of the, or I should say the kids are one of the lucky ones that has, like, you know, the father in their life and stuff like that. But we're talking about situations like a lot of these things are single mother homes. The parents or the mothers are too busy working 2 and 3 jobs. So then you have a bunch of people, whether it be family members or people that you're paying, watching the children, feeding the children, bathing the children.
And listen, I understand that, you know, some single mothers, you have it hard. Some of them working 2 jobs. You don't have enough for a babysitter. You want to say, okay, well, trust your friend or your man. They have to make sacrifices and do what they have to do. I understand that. And most of them, like I say, as much as you know somebody, in the back of their minds, all they could do, most of them is God-fearing people. So of course they're gonna pray and just hope for the best. Like, look, protect my child, let him be safe and whatever. You know, if you ain't a believer, then you simply, all you could do is, okay, rationalize it. Well, I know this person for a number of years, they don't see him so, so everything should be all right. But then, you know, still you're dealing with a human being. You know, and
well, like on the topic of you saying, you know, God-fearing and stuff like that, because, you know me, I'm a non-believer. I don't, you know, subscribe to those theories. But there are people out there that do. And like, when you talk about these deviants, and especially the ones that are repeat offenders, is like, would you subscribe to the theory that something is just mentally, like they have demons living inside of them?
Well, like you say, if we want to believe we are the only entity when it comes to a species or whatever in this entire universe, no, we're not. Because we ain't even so smart. We're destroying our own planet. We don't even need no help. And if you believe in a higher power, and you believe in karma, energy, chi, the Holy Ghost, all of that is basically the same thing.
No matter how you're the same thing. Right?
Exactly. So, just like you say, you have good chi and you have bad chi. Okay? So, you're going to have good and you're going to have evil. The yin and the yang, they must go together. Light and dark, must go together. So, I believe people can get, because remember, your mentality, a lot of sparks and brain waves going off. I still believe that you could pick up bad energy, which would translate into a bad spirit, that could change the whole complexity of your rationality. Like, you could one day be a rational, sane, evil, and then something, some bad chi, some bad energy, some bad vibes, or like we like to say, bad mind and whatever, enter your brain, the energy, and cause you to react in a way you normally don't. So, all you could do is protect your mental, live right, try to keep your body clean.
But I'm like, I'm trying my best to, like, because remember I had to study this thing from like many different angles, and I'm going to get to where I'm headed to in a minute, but it's like, when you think of these deviants, and it's like, what kind of pleasure as a grown adult male or female can you get from, you know, a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 8-year-old? I mean, it's like, we're not even crossing the boundaries of 13, menstruation. Is like, what can you really?
And that's where the sadness of the situation, because I mean, when you look at, for instance, most of these, when it happens to young boys who You know, you can't understand. And even if you change the place with a boy and you put a young girl, still in my mind, I just can't see what, you know. But, and that's where the different bad energies, the complexity of your mind, the kick in be. You don't know what a man dealing with, you don't know what a woman dealing with be. So, you know, who do I trust? Me. That's who.
As a matter of fact, I think I was saying something along the lines of that today, whether on social media stuff. Is like, who else can I trust if I can't trust number one? So it all starts with like the individualism. But I mean, what I really want to like get at right now is, because you got to look at the flip side of every coin, every story. Is like, there's going to be some scumbag lawyer out there that's going to defend these people, and they're going to say, oh, maybe the child was lying, the child was making stories up.
No, that's always the first line of defense. That's, you don't read the news. It had a case, I think, in LA. That's always that's like the handbook defense. Like, yeah, she lying, he lying. You know what I'm saying? You know?
All right.
Oh, I don't like boys, he lying.
All right. So then you know, that's how, let's say there's solid evidence. That's how now they're going to turn to the pity, or like, oh, they were molested themselves, and like,
yeah, they cop the plea and oh, lenient because da 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 da. But you know what's a funny thing? About a week ago, I was watching this. Don't know his name. He's a pro-black,
militant type,
not
activist.
really militant, just activist, very educated, at about 6 degrees. And he was talking on the morning ride show.
He's
Not
like
the morning
Professor
ride show.
Richard.
I mean, talking big up to my boy guys. I was talking. I mean, in the States with Charlamagne the God.
Oh, the Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club. And he was like, yo. He was like, there is a plan in the workings that the United States government is going to try to change the crime of pedophilia into a mental disorder.
Wow, talk about protection.
Wow. I was like, say word. And he's like, it's coming. Because you see, all the little Jareds and all the little influential boys who like little boys and child pornography, we can't have everybody going to jail, so we're going to send you to counseling now.
We can't send you to jail with all the black and spick niggas. That's what they're basically saying.
It ain't even so that. It's just that what race is more prone to this crime and the powers to be know it?
Low income family.
It's their race. So they're gonna do what they have to do to protect their race. Because if it was a high number of Negroes or minorities, they wouldn't even have that discussion. But we'll go to jail, rot.
Yeah,
You know?
that's messed up.
And that's what it is. You know, they are a minority in the world. You do realize that.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, I mean,
They still have the
niggas
power.
out there multiplying by like rabbits.
Yeah, they still have the power.
But okay, now that you said that, like in cases like these, where these people are obviously predators in the community, it's like, how do you think justice for something like that should be handled, or is the judicial system too lax?
Well, listen, I can remember. You see, the judicial system sometimes fail. People solve baby time, they come out, they register, and that's all. They have the scarlet letter. But when you get a mob mentality, I could give you an example. I remember several years in Cruz, St. Croix. Same a situation where it was a family friend. I think it was a little girl, and push come to shove, the molestation, accused, get bail, stay away from the whatever. Well, let's just say, next morning, they found his body. Okay, he was beaten bad, burnt, and his vibes was cut off and sticking out his mouth.
Oh man, see, I mean,
Mob mentality.
I mean, that's what's gonna happen when
But you know, I had another case where a girl have this real bad man youth. She got an ex-boyfriend, let her boyfriend correct the youth. Abusing this little sickle cell child, like 7 years old. Beat the girl so bad one day kill the girl.
Damn.
Well, that man no shot a dude coming home. So that was the quickest like turn in. Like, yeah, police. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. I hear, yeah, I guilty, yeah. Just keep me in jail. Keep me in jail.
you don't want to be out.
Keep me in jail. So let's just say one night, man come home, whatever. I guess the man like, yeah, whatever. All I know is, and all everybody who read the paper know, is the scene went like this. Homegirl comes home, homegirl parks car, homegirls opens up gate, homegirls gets 3 to the back of the head.
Wow.
End of the story.
All right,
Case
so
closed.
it's almost about time for us to wrap up. But before we go, there's one topic I want to touch. I'm not even going to get into the other topic because, I mean, it seems like this conversation took up majority of our time. But, like, in situations like what we're talking about where you're a single parent, you have boyfriends and girlfriends, it's like, where do we go from there? Because it's like you trust this person, you let them into your home, you let them into your life, you let them into your bed, but still you have children around and, you know, you don't know, like, what's going on. So it's
Well, the step is simple. You know, you dating somebody, you got your kids wrong. If I know, I might tend to feel comfortable and leave my daughter around a female friend. But I mean, for females, you got a dude, you got a young girl. If you're going out, you're going with your daughter. You ain't leaving your daughter home. I don't care how cool he is. Nah, it's just appropriate. You got your boyfriend, he cooling. You go out with your daughter. Where you going in, that important. Unless you're going walk. And if you're going walk, hopefully you got an aunt, a sister, or somebody. Don't be leaving your girl child home with your boyfriend. Unless that's the child father. You know? Wrong strange people. And just don't do it. So watch your kids, man.
Certain things, I guess, are easier said than
Watch
done. This looks
Watch
like
your kids.
a topic that we're going to have to touch on another time. But our time has elapsed. Hopefully, you guys tune in next week. As always, I'm your boy, The Franchise. You know, the Instagram, DJ Franchise, NC17. Same thing for Twitter, all my social media. Don't know if Slick want to put his stuff out there because, you know, he obviously just don't like people. But at the end of the day, man, we're going to call it a wrap. And as always, may the gates that surround your property keep you safe from Garrett Gasso trash, and may your children grow up to speak the Queen's English. TVNC 17, we out.